Hi, I'm Mike Storms, and I'm here to help you today stormproof your families. One of the things we're going to talk about in this exclusive video is bullying. Now, bullying is a huge problem. Everybody knows about it. It's in the media. It's a problem at school. It's a problem on the athletic field. It's a problem at work. It's a problem even on the highways. So bullying is something that we have to learn with our kids, because we need to learn as adults how to deal with it, and our kids need to learn how to deal with it through our coaching and training. Now, one of the big things, most of you know I'm a karate master. I've been in martial arts for over 30 years, is we're pretty good at helping people deal with bullies. One of the things we're great at is the awareness part of it, which is important. You got to teach your kids to be aware of who the mean kids are. And one of the things we say at our school is, and at our seminars, that mean kids usually have mean parents. So you guys have to recognize that you got to avoid certain people at work or certain people in the grocery store. So again, this is a family stormproofing principle. Awareness. What do you do when you notice somebody's a bully and they're over on that side of the playground or they're on that side of the office party? Well, you stay on the other side. So awareness and avoidance, of course, is always going to be our first strategy. Now with school, we're under this false assumption as parents, and I got 4 kids of my own, from grade school all the way to college, and I've trained over 6,000 kids in the last 30 years, and over 7,500 kids and teens and parents. Is the school administrators and the teachers, they're as befuddled as we are as how to deal with bullies. And some of them are intimidated by the bully's parents, or what's going to happen if they bring it up. So we have to really take the responsibility on ourselves to train and teach our kids how to deal with bullies at school. Now, the 3 most dangerous places for our kids at school is the school bus. Not a lot of supervision there. A lot of bullying happens there. The bathrooms, again, lack of supervision. That's where the bullies tend to pick on kids more. And of course, at recess, because there's 2 or 3 teachers and 100 or 200 kids. So dialogue with your kids that they should be extra aware and extra alert when they're on the school bus, where they're going to choose to sit. Sitting close to the school bus driver is a good idea, avoiding those places where the bullies are in the back of the bus. When they go to the bathroom, if the bully goes to the bathroom, maybe they want to wait a few minutes if they can, or maybe if they're in the bathroom, the bully comes in, they want to leave immediately. And at recess, choosing where to play strategically for avoidance and awareness always needs to come first. Now let's talk about a bully. Why is somebody a bully? There's a thing psychologically in people's lives called the victim cycle, or stuff rolls downhill. If somebody's getting picked on at home, older brother, kid in the neighborhood, rough, mean, harsh parent, lots of times they're going to act out with those same behaviors at school or at work. So a bully's really kind of an unhappy, grumpy person that's reaching out improperly to try to get attention and respect. So dialogue with your kids and inside your family of why is a bully behaving this way? I don't want my kids to get mad at the bully. I kind of want them to feel sorry for him, because you're going to respond differently when you do that. One of the strategies you can try to do is the bully comes up to you and says, "Hey, get out of my chair. I'm going to punch you in the face. I didn't know this was your chair." The first strategy after awareness, avoidance, is going to be cooperation. But you got to look them in the face when you say it. Because if I do this right now, you know that I have a confidence problem. The bullies are going to look for kids that are looking at their feet. So when you're training your kids, and remember parents, it's our job to train our kids, not the teachers, not the coaches, not the pastors. They're going to walk alongside us to help us, but it's our job to train our own children. Require that your kids look you in the eyes all the time. Look at mommy, look at daddy, focus here. If you tell your kids to clean your room and they go, "Yeah, I'll clean it, mom. Look at me in the eyes, clean your room." You want to make sure that you're training eye contact at home. So if someone comes up to them and says, "Hey, you're in my chair, get out, or I'm going to punch you in the face." "Okay, I didn't know it was your chair, I'll get up." But they're looking at the bully right in the eyes with confidence. And that also shows that they're not going to be an easy victim. Bullies are predators, so are criminals. So what a bully's going to do is they're not going to look for the kid that stands up straight, that stands tall, that walks down the hallway looking straight ahead. They're going to look for the kid that's looking at their feet, acting extra cautious, concerned, scared at school, and that's who they're going to pick. Just like a lioness doesn't go for the head of the zebra herd, they're going to go for the weakest zebra, a sick zebra, an old zebra, an injured zebra. The bullies are going to target the weakest people in the lunchroom, at recess, on the bus, in the bathroom, in the hallway. So teach your kids by training them to always look you in the eye and to stand and sit up, posture please, at the dinner table or whenever they're with you, to stand up straight and be confident. That right there is going to eliminate 90% of the problems. If your kids stand up straight and don't perceive to be weak or a victim. Funny story that goes with that. Me and one of my friends go camping and a grizzly bear tears down the tent and we start to run and I grab my tennis shoes. My friend says, "Mike, those shoes aren't going to help you outrun the bear." I say, "I don't got to outrun the bear. I just got to outrun you." You don't have to be the toughest, fastest kid at school to not be picked on. You just can't be the slowest and the weakest. So you just got to train your kids just a little bit so they don't end up in that bottom 10%. Dialogue about bullying at home. You know, it's a shameful thing to get picked on. It's embarrassing. Sadly, we see all around the world today, kids that are bullied don't say anything for months and months and months and years. A, they resort to violence in their school like Columbine, or B, they resort to hurting or cutting themselves, or kids even commit suicide when they're bullied extensively. So have an open dialogue at the dinner table, and you should be sitting down having dinner with your kids every night. Hey, what happened at school today? Hey, were there any confrontations or anybody treating you in a way you want to talk about or work on with mom and dad? And that brings us to point number 2. Train them to stand tall and look in the eyes. Number 2 is get them opening up about stuff and then role play how to deal with the situations. Yeah, some kid at school today said, "You better bring me $5 tomorrow, I'm going to beat you up." Well, you got to stand up to that and not bring in the $5, of course. Or you're going to do my homework, I'm going to beat you up. Or you're going to do this for me or that for me. So when the bullies confront your kids, they have to stand up to them. Verbally first, and then you report it to the teacher, the coach, the school board. I remember once with one of my sons, he was on an all-star baseball team getting picked on by some of the other kids. And I told my son how to deal with it, and I went to speak to the coaches and told them what was going on. And then my son was able to stand up to the bullies verbally on his baseball team in the dugout. It never happened again. So look them in the eyes, and what you want to train your kids to say is, "Hey, stop it. I don't like that. That's not nice." And you want to draw attention to them by confidently speaking the statements of "Stop, I don't like it, it's not nice." Now the teachers are going to notice, other people will notice, it will draw attention to what's going on. So role play with your kids. Say something mildly unkind to them at home, gently, and say, "Now say it back to me." And give them the confidence through rehearsing how they're going to respond to people at school. Of course, I believe in a quality martial arts program, not really for the physical self-defense, but for the mental awareness, avoidance, and how to deal with the confrontation stage in bullying. If you master those 2 stages, you're never going to get to the 3rd stage, and the 3rd stage, which is the physical defense of it. Bullies don't want to fight. They want to intimidate, they want to push around, they want to extort things from people, but they really don't want any trouble. If you have any further questions on this bullying subject, please email me at mike@stormproofyourlife.com, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Have a great day.